So myself, Dr. Anshul Malhotra, the lead biomechanics sports authority of India. So I'll be your teacher, host, or for the biomechanics module. So this is the introductory chapter, and in this chapter, you will be introduced to the biomechanics in general as well as in sports. Throughout the this module, we'll be concentrating on sports part, but in this lecture, I'll let you know biomechanics in both, and I will basically tell you the versatility of this subject. Okay. So the learning outcomes out of this video lecture are: students will understand what is biomechanics in general, and also you will know what is the relation in sports, how it is so important in sports. So this is the number one. Second outcome is you will be able to know the basic classification. So there is a basic classification we have in the biomechanics. We have certain types of analysis, certain type of studies. So that classification will be you will be getting you will know very clearly what are those classifications in biomechanics. Thirdly, you will very clearly understand how it is different from kinesiology, because there is a confusion between these two things, kinesiology and biomechanics. But after going through this video lecture, you will definitely get to know what is the exact difference between the two. Fourthly, participants will become very familiar with the practical applications, and I will discuss its application in sports as well as in journal, because this is the introductory chapter, so you should know the versatility in applications too of this subject. So starting with the lecture, coming to the first slide of introduction is what is biomechanics. So biomechanics is defined as the area of study wherein the knowledge and methods of mechanics, so this is the key term here, mechanics. We use the principles of mechanics to study the structure and function of the living human system. So from the graphics you can very easily see, on left side you have biological system sorry, and on the right hand side you have mechanical system. So by word you will very clearly know bio plus mechanics is equal to biomechanics. So basically we utilize mechanical principles to study the living organisms. And what we study structure and we study function of the movements basically. So this is the simplest definition of biomechanics. So what we use to do these kind of analysis, these kind of studies using mechanics? So first of all, biomechanics use the tools of mechanics. So what is mechanics? So mechanics is a branch of physics which involves analysis of actions of forces to study the anatomical and functional aspects of living organisms. So by using mechanics we come to know about what are the forces responsible for different movements. You are running, you are jumping, you are walking, there are multiple movements you are doing. Each movement involves mechanics. Each movement involves anatomical considerations, we have anatomical details, what are the muscles involved, what are the joints involved. So all these things we study in biomechanics by using the core principles of physics. And what is the beauty of this thing is that it is mechanics, means either you are at 0 value or you are at 1, means it is very clear cut science, either you will get it or you will not. In biology we have 3.6, 7.8, you know, it is in between, there are very values in if you talk of pure biology. But when you talk of physics, there are numbers, we deal with the numbers. Either it is 0, your performance is 0, or your performance is very good. So that is the beauty. So that's why it is very accurate in sports, and the results which you get are directly applicable to increase your performance in the sports. So what are the tools? So there are basically 3 categories of tools we have. Number one is qualitative. So by qualitative, you know that you just watch the movement is happening, somebody is running in front of you, you are watching him. So that is your qualitative thing. Then what is quantitative? Quantitative is you have to do some calculation part. So what is the difference between the two? The number one, the qualitative is known as subjective one, and it is the most preferred one by the coaches because it is very fast. It requires less time as compared to the quantitative one because you are just viewing it, and by viewing, you get to know if you are experienced one that what movement is going wrong, and you can tell the person that this is the way you should do it, and gradually he develops a good technique. So this is qualitative. Second one is quantitative, where we calculate in actual mathematics terms. We have calculation, we have numbers, we deal with the numbers, and of course if we are dealing with the numbers it is more accurate, and usually the scientists or for the development or of something new, for research part, we have to deal with the quantitative, and it is also known as objective analysis. And the third one is your predictive one. This is also the latest one, in which we do simulation. Simulation is what? That we simulate the movements in the lab, in the 3D motion lab, so that we can, using the principle of mechanics, predict what will happen. A very simple example here is, if you want an athlete who is a weightlifter, suppose he is a weightlifter and you want to test his maximum ability, or you want to check a technique by which he can, theoretically you think that he can lift more weight, but you cannot risk that athlete by putting that weight on him and telling him to do that movement. So what you will do, you will make a 3D model, you will do simulation, we will make 3D model of that athlete, and using these powerful tools of mechanics and these predictive biomechanics, we can very accurately determine what will happen by using that new technique. Will he be able to lift that weight without any risk, or is there any risk involved? So everything we'll get to know by prediction, and these predictions are very accurate. So this is the future and future proof and very predictive and accurate biomechanics. So these are the three main things, and in the below you can see the graphics to distinguish between qualitative and the quantitative. In qualitative we have observation like good, poor, heavy, flexed, rotated, like these. These are the qualitative words, just which you can write just by observation. On the other hand, when you are dealing with the quantitative analysis, then 6 meters, it is a number, 50 tons, so everything involves some number, some measurement. Okay, so this is the main difference. Majorly used are these two, qualitative and quantitative, and the predictive one are in the very special labs, and also it is very expensive. So this is the tools which we use. Now coming to biomechanics in sports. So what happens, what we do with biomechanics? So biomechanics in sports incorporates a detailed analysis of sport movements in order to minimize the risk of injury and improve sports performance. Underline the word injury and the sports performance. No matter what you are doing in biomechanics, the primary aim of each test, each analysis in biomechanics is to enhance your performance. Secondly, to decrease or minimize the risk of your injury. So this is the prime aim of biomechanics in sports. And how we do that? By utilizing mechanics. This is science that is concerned with analysis of the mechanics of human movement. We utilize principles of mechanics that I will deal with all the important principles in the later section of this module, so you will understand how we utilize that. So in simple words, or in other words, sports biomechanics is the science of explaining how and why the human body moves in the way that it does. So you have to analyze the mechanics involved in each and every movement in sports. Okay, so this is the thing sports mechanics is all about. So this is all about sports mechanics. Now some key points you should always keep in mind when you are dealing with the biomechanics in sports. So these points are very crucial, and once you go through these points, you will understand as a whole what we are dealing with respect to biomechanics in sports. So number one is each and every movement in any sports involve biomechanics. Either you are running, either you are throwing something, shot put, or any movement you are making, it involves biomechanics. Keep in mind, like you are jumping, so anything you are doing, it involves, you are running, it involves biomechanics. Then biomechanically correct movements, underline the word biomechanically correct movements. What is the meaning of this? Means the ones which are according to mechanical principles in a very correct way, according to physics principles, they will help in improvement in performance definitely, as well as prevention of injuries. If you are doing every movement, or athlete is performing every movement in a biomechanically correct way, definitely he is going to enhance his performance, and definitely he will remain away from the risk of injury. A very simple example is in front of you. In biomechanics, we usually tell athletes to use your heavier muscles like glutes, the quad muscles in your thighs, because when you utilize them biomechanically, this is the correct posture. You can see the diagram of proper lifting posture. So whenever you talk of proper posture, you should always utilize heavier muscles so that you can utilize them, because they are heavier and they will produce more amount of torque, they will produce more amount of force, and it will help to prevent your delicate tissues as well as bones. Now in the left side, the green guy, which is green, he is using proper biomechanics. The way he is lifting, he is utilizing his larger muscles, glutes, quads, hamstrings. So he is not putting his stress on the delicate parts like spine, shoulder. So he will prevent himself from the injury, as well as he will do the work in a very great way. On the other hand, the other guy is doing in a very incorrect way, against physics. So he is putting a lot of stress on the shoulders, on the delicate parts. Instead of using bigger muscles, he is not utilizing that. So this is biomechanically incorrect posture. So in this way, biomechanics help you. If you know it, you will do it, right? If athletes know and they adapt their larger muscles in their games, then definitely they will improve their performance and prevent themselves from the injury. So this is the point. Okay, biomechanics enhances your vision. So how? Basically, this is very a simple example I'll tell you. For example, if you take two athletes and you are just viewing those athletes and you ask them to jump, both will jump, and what you will do, you will see, you will just, for example, you just mark on the wall that which one is jumping higher. Now how biomechanics will enhance your vision? Because with biomechanics you have some tests here by which you can monitor RFD, means rate of force development. I'm just giving some example here so that you understand how it enhances your vision. Because by just viewing in your eyes, you will say that the one who is jumping higher is stronger, or you will not able to know which one has more RFD. But in the biomechanics, like force platform we have, and if these two guys jump on that, we are able to know RFD, rate of force development. So what that tells us in which athlete the rate of force development is more, and the one who has more RFD can do the task faster. In simple terms, the message is biomechanics test enhances your vision. You can pinpoint which athlete is doing the task in a more correct way, in a more fast way, who is generating more force, so that he is more efficient biomechanically, right? So in this way it enhances your vision. Fourth, interaction between the coaches and the biomechanics is must for the maximum performance. So this is a key term, interaction. If coaches don't interact with the biomechanics, or if biomechanics don't interact with the coaches, so the message is not going from science part to the game part. So there is no use. So interaction is must to circulate the message so that it can be applied in the game, right? So this is also very essential. Interaction is must. So this is another second last point, which is very important in biomechanics, that every athlete has different biomechanics because we all are different. In a team of 11, every individual is different and every individual has different biomechanics. So this is the beauty of this science, sports science, that when we analyze each of them, you get to know the biomechanical characters of each of these, because because everybody is different. Somebody requires more of strength, somebody requires more of flexibility, and if you give one training protocol to everybody, so if one who is already has good strength and you're again giving him the strength training, so what is the use? So you can pinpoint which athlete wants which training. So this selective workouts you can do only with the help of biomechanics. So in this way it also make your training goals very specific. So these are the very important points in the biomechanics. Okay, so in this way, when you undergo all these things, you will definitely produce a very good athlete who is very efficient, who is doing very well in the games, and also you will also enhance the lifetime of the athlete because the risk of injury is also minimizing by using correct biomechanics. So that are the key points of biomechanics. Now this is the guy you all know, Sachin Tendulkar. He knew his biomechanics, and one point I'll make it very clear here. He usually used to work a lot on his wrist and the shoulder. Why? Because he knew that. Because his game involved a lot of shoulder work. So he worked a lot on these areas. So according to games, you are also, if you know your biomechanics, you know your biomechanical properties, you can relate to the game. And according to game, you can enhance your those qualities and get the gold medal for sure. Okay. And second thing, he used to have very heavier bat. So there also biomechanics is involved, and we call it as impact biomechanics. So I'll deal it in the later sections. Okay, so this is pure biomechanics and the success is in front of you, right? Now coming to the second part of this lecture, classifications. So basically the biomechanics is classified into two parts. The number one is statistics and second one is your dynamics. So statistics is the branch of mechanics dealing with a system in a constant state of motion. Means they are moving with a constant velocity, number one, or they are at rest. So that is known as statistics. And the branch of biomechanics which is dealing with system which have constant acceleration, so that branch is known as dynamics. So basically we have two classification: statistics biomechanics and dynamics biomechanics. So these two classifications are there, and in these two, what is the difference? In statistics we have movement with the constant velocity, or the subject is standing or is at rest. On the other hand, in dynamics it is constantly moving. Now there are further sub branches in both of these areas. Statistics have again two sub branches like kinematics and kinetics. Similarly, dynamics has two sub branches, kinematics and kinetics. So what is the difference between these two? Kinematics involves the study of size, sequence, timing of the movement without any reference to the force. So this is the key difference. In kinematics, we don't look into force. We just see the size, sequencing, timing, speed, acceleration, but we don't look into force. So those analyses are known as kinematic, or those studies are known as kinematic studies. On the other hand, when we study forces associated with those movements, then that study is known as kinetics. So I repeat, there are two branches of biomechanics: statistics and the dynamics. Statistics are the one when the subject is moving with a constant velocity, or he or she is at rest. Okay, and the dynamics is when subject is moving with acceleration. So these are static dynamics. Now these two branches is further we have two sub classifications in both of these. Like in statistics we have kinematics, kinetics. Similar in dynamics we have kinematics and kinetics. And what is the difference between these two? Kinematics involved sequencing, size, timing. There is no involvement of force. So this is the only difference. But in kinetics we study forces which are responsible for the movement. So these are the main classification in the biomechanics. And now what is the difference between the biomechanics and kinesiology? So here in the chart you can say that kinesiology is the umbrella term. So what is kinesiology? It is basically study of human movement by physical sciences, and these sciences could be anatomy, physics, physiology. So this is it. Now the biomechanics is the sub-discipline of kinesiology, the part which is dealing with the physics, right? So you can say that the umbrella is kinesiology, and under this we have so many sciences, and out of these sciences the physical part, the science which involves physics, is your biomechanics. So this is the difference. So kinesiology is the study of human movement, and the biomechanics is sub-discipline of kinesiology, and which is dealing with the physics part or the mechanics part. So this is the key difference. Okay, now this is the whole summary. You can say that in this graphic, biomechanics, we and one thing more, you from this graphic you understand our athletes are like supercars, right? So in the supercars or any car, you can say that in mechanical way, it requires, you have to follow some rules. You should know when to change gear. You should know when to apply brake. You should know how to drive a car in a correct way so that you can get good efficiency out of that. Similarly, in the athlete, same mechanical principle applies. You should know how to perform a particular movement, how to accelerate yourself, how to change the angles accordingly. So this graphics is just a representation of an athlete, and overall it is a summary of biomechanics which we have studied up till now. Now coming to the last part of our lecture, applications part. So primarily, first of all, I'll deal with the application of biomechanics in sports. The number one application is identification of optimal technique for enhancing sports performance. So earlier I have told you that prime aim of biomechanics is to enhance performance, and number two, to reduce the risk of injury. So in every application you will see that the ultimate aim is this only. So to do that, number one is we identify the optimal technique, the technique which is safest, so that to minimize risk of injury, and the technique which is most efficient. So the first application in each game when we utilize biomechanics is to identify optimal technique for enhancing sports performance. Second, analysis of body loading to determine the safest method for performing a particular sport or exercise task. So this same thing, related one. In the point 1 I am talking about performance, and the point 2 I am talking about the safest technique. Point 3, the assessment of muscular recruitment and loading. So this is also the application of biomechanics. We should know which muscles are involved, so that in the first example earlier I have told you we should use larger muscles so that we can perform the task in a more biomechanical correct way to maintain our good posture. So we should know which muscles are being recruited for a particular movement and when they are recruited, loading part. So that will definitely help us to enhance performance and reduce the risk of injury. Number 4, the analysis and development of exercise equipment like shoes, surfaces and rackets. So this is also come under biomechanics. They are specialized type of shoes to correct some biomechanical. In this we talk of foot biomechanics. We have some athletes have flat foot, some have more of pronation. All these things you will understand later on. So in a simple message here, this is the introductory class, I'll let you know in the simple words that we design some kind of special things like shoes which can correct them biomechanically if they have some problem. Okay, so how we get to know that problem? By biomechanical test. Similarly, we have some surfaces which are being, like now you can say that earlier we have grass in the grounds, now we have some mats, different synthetic mats. So how they are evolving by biomechanics, because by using these are more efficient, and we can athletes can perform their game in a more accurate way or more efficient way. So these things, rackets is another example, how to improvise designs for so that we can have good performance and without any risk to the athlete. So these things are also being invented or improvised by biomechanics. So these are the main key areas where we work in the sports, and all these areas have two main aims. The prime aim is performance enhancement with decline in the risk of injury. I hope this message is very clear. Now, this is some versatility of biomechanics I am telling you in this slide. So the man you can see on the right hand side, he is using biomechanically designed treadmill. So what is that? So here I am telling you what is the application of biomechanics in other fields, just to give you an idea. Okay. So basically biomechanics is also involved in other sciences also, like here I am giving you example of space science. So there, what happens in the space science, usually there is bone loss due to lack of gravity there. So what biomechanics is doing here is they have designed this special treadmill that will, what this treadmill will do in the space. So they take this treadmill to the spaceship and do these kind of exercises there, and as a result what they will get some stimulation in their bone growth. So these treadmills are designed in a way that they can stimulate their bone growth. So this is the one of the application, a very good application of biomechanics in space science. Number 2, automobile industry. You see luxury cars, they are very expensive, and where the biomechanics is in the ergonomics of their sitting plan. The chair, the sitting arrangement in these cars is very comfortable, and biomechanics is involved in designing of those sitting arrangements. So see, here also biomechanics is involved. And thirdly, in the medicine also, like person who are getting aged, they used to fall and they have delicate bones. So biomechanics is also involved there to design certain clothing which will prevent their fractures. So in this way, it is a versatile science which have multiple applications. So this was just an introduction to those areas also, and mainly we'll focus on the sports science. Okay, so that's it for today. Now you can attempt a small assignment. Thank you.